welcome back to my channel. My name is Serena and I love to read books, and I hope you're here because you love to read books too. I'm sorry that it's been a little bit just like a few weeks since I've posted again, just because it's been very busy around here. At the moment we're renovating and there's a lot of noise that's going on in the background, but I'm so desperate to film this video that I'm just gonna go for it and see what happens and try to edit out as much background noise as possible. So I'm here because I want to share with you the books that I am going to be reading this summer, and that includes my Summer TBR, my full long list Summer TBR. I'm pretty sure there's at least like 20 books on my Summer TBR, but also I want to share with you my Summerween TBR. If you didn't know, which I'm sure you know because we're all readers over here, Summerween is a readathon hosted by Gabby Reads and Olivia Reads a Latte, and this is the first time that I am going to be actively participating in this readathon. This readathon, I believe, starts on July 7th, so from July 7th to July 13. I could be wrong, but I'll put the dates up over here so you can see. And yeah, I'm really excited to take part in it, and I'm also really excited to share with you the books that are on my list. So let's get started. So the first prompt on the Summerween TBR is read a book in the dark. So that's hopefully easy enough if I can stay awake. The second prompt is to read a thriller, and the first book that I'm going to pick for this prompt is Daphne by Josh Malerman. This is a summer horror set at the beginning of the school year. Summer is just about to start. There's a young girls basketball team. They've just heard of this young girl named Daphne who died under suspicious circumstances and who apparently haunts their school. One of the players on the basketball team, she starts to see her teammates slowly disappear and then starts to suspect that Daphne may be behind all of it and that Daphne is real. So yeah, I'm excited to get to this one. This is a really cool cover too. So yeah, really excited to get to this one. The next prompt on the Summerween TBR is to read a book that takes place in the fall. Now, I have a book that I believe takes place, well, I believe it takes place in September, but I don't know exactly when in September, so I'm gonna just say that it starts in the fall of September. As you can see, I've read some of it already, and that is The Witches of New York by Amy McKay. So this is set in New York City in the 1800s. This is set 200 years after the Salem witch trials. There are two young witches. They move to New York and they open a tea shop. One day they meet this enchanting woman who can speak to spirits. So I don't know if they like start to like study her or something, but they're working with her, trying to find out how she can speak to these spirits. She's also working with them at their tea shop. And then one day she disappears and they are on the hunt to look for her before anything bad happens. So yeah, I'm excited to read this book. I've had it for a really long time and it's been on my shelf for a really long time. So I think this is a good time to read it. The next prompt in the Summerween TBR is to read a book with black or orange on the cover. And the book that I picked is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. I won't go into too much detail about this because I'm sure you know about it, and I'm pretty much late to the game because everyone at this point has read it except for me. But this is the time to read it because this is the perfect summer horror. It is about two best friends, Abby and Gabby? It is about two best friends, Abby and Gretchen, who have been friends since they were in 4th grade. And after an evening of skinny dipping has gone disastrously wrong, Gretchen begins to act differently, hence my best friend's exorcism. That's all I'm going to say for this book, because I'm pretty sure that you've probably already read the book and or know about this one. So yeah, this one is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. So the last prompt in the Summerween, on the Summerween list, is read a manga graphic novel. So I don't read manga graphic novels, and my huge pile of books, there's not even one novella. So instead of reading a manga, I'm going to read a graphic novel, which is, if I can find it, here it is, which is Bee Planet. I'm gonna say Bee Planet. Bee Planet Volume 2 though, because I read this one and this one is Volume 1. And I'm excited to read Volume 2 because I haven't read it yet. And I read this one last year and I've been wanting to read Volume 2 since finishing this one. So I will tell you what Volume 1 is about, or just like the premise of it. No spoilers, of course. Bee Planet is a comic book series written by Kelly Sue DeConnick and illustrated by Valentine Delandro, or yes, Delandro. This graphic novel is set in a dystopian future. The story revolves around a group of women who are deemed non-compliant by society, patriarchy, and since they are deemed as non-compliant, they are sent to a prison planet called Bee Planet. So yeah, I really liked volume number 1, which is this one. The second volume I think is called President Bee. So yeah, I'm excited to read that one. It's also a very fast read because it's a graphic novel, so it'll go by very fast, and I really like it. So yeah, I'm excited. So that is my Summerween list. So the next batch of books that I'm going to share with you are the books that I'm really looking forward to reading this summer. The ones that are like top tier on my summer reading list that I must get to, hopefully. So the first book is Bunny by Mona Awad. I read All's Well by Mona Awad, and I know there was like a lot of split opinions about that title. Some people really liked it and other people didn't like it. I was in the group of people who really enjoyed that book, and that's why I'm really excited to read this book. So this book follows Samantha Heather McKay, who is a graduate student at a very elite university. At this university, there is a group, a clique, a young group. There is a clique of young women who call themselves Bunny. Samantha and her best friend Ava are on the outside looking in at these bunnies. However, one day Samantha is chosen to become part of the bunny clique, and darkness ensues. So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm really excited to read it. I've been wanting to read it since it came out. So yeah, that's Bunny by Mona Awad. The next book that is on my must read this summer is She is a Haunting by Trang, Tran. This story follows Jade, who is visiting her dad, who she has an estranged relationship with. She is visiting him in Vietnam, and he lives in this French colonial house. At night, however, when she is sleeping, she becomes paralyzed and she starts to hear voices leaving her cryptic messages saying, "Don't eat." So this one has the Mexican Gothic kind of vibes. That's how it, I think that's how it was explained somewhere. I don't know, maybe I explained it to myself that way, but it has a little bit of that Mexican Gothic vibe, and I really liked Mexican Gothic, so I'm excited to read this book, and that is She is a Haunting by Trang, Tran. The next book on my list is Protege by Jody Gehrman. Now, this book, I picked it because I follow Reading Riley's book club. Sorry, the door. I follow Reading Riley's book club, and this was one of the books that they read, I believe, either last month or the month before, and I didn't have the opportunity to read it. So I'm picking it for the summer. I'm really excited and intrigued by the synopsis, and this story pits two women against each other. One is a professor at another elite university, actually, and the other is her student who will do anything to sabotage or even kill her professor. Yeah, I want to read this. That's Protege by Jody Gehrman. The next book that I wanted to read, and I really wanted to make sure to add at least one classic in my long list of books, and this one I feel is must read, and that is Agatha Christie's Evil Under the Sun. This is a Hercule Poirot mystery that follows a beautiful, popular actress who is found dead on the beach. That's a perfect summer mystery read. So yeah, that's Evil Under the Sun by Agatha Christie. The next book on my long list for this summer is called The Annual Migration of Clouds by Premee Mohamed. This book is set after a horrible climate disaster has taken place. There is food shortages, industry has closed, and now there is a not deadly but a mysterious fungi that is being spread amongst a small group of people. So not everybody has it, but quite a few people have this mysterious fungi. And our main character, her name is Reed. She carries the parasite and has been chosen to get away to another area where they live like they used to live pre-disaster. So this story follows Reed, and I'll just read from the back, the synopsis. Reed, a young woman who carries this parasite, has been given a chance to get away, to move to one of the last remnants of pre-disaster society. But she can't bring herself to abandon her mother and her community that relies on her. When she's offered a coveted place on a dangerous and profitable mission, she jumps at the opportunity to set her family up for life. But how can Reed ask people to put their trust in her when she can't even trust her own mind? And this one's a short read. Actually, I guess it is kind of like a novella, but I got this one at the book festival that I went to, and I had picked it up, and it was one of the books that was recommended by like a customer. Oh god. And it was one of those books that was recommended to me by another reader at the festival. So yeah. So yeah, that's The Annual Migration of Clouds by Premee Mohamed. The next book that I really want to get to this summer is If an Egyptian Cannot Speak English, and that's written by Noor Naga. And this one is I guess it's like a dark romance. This one is a dark romance that follows a woman who goes to visit her mother country. Her parents were immigrants who, I believe they moved to, I want to say Canada, because I thought it was America, but I think they had moved to Canada. And then she decides that she's actually going to go and work in Egypt and live in Egypt. And she meets this man who is seemingly going through a very hard time in his life, but they start a relationship and it becomes tumultuous. So that's all I'm going to say, because I think I read a review and it kind of spoiled it for me almost, so I'm not going to say anything else. But yes, that is If an Egyptian Cannot Speak English by Noor Naga. And this one, I am really excited to read this one because, again, this is a book that probably you guys have read and that everybody has read, and I'm literally so late to the game, but that is The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi by Shannon Chakraborty. This will actually be my first Shannon Chakraborty book. I'm really excited to read it because it is about a woman pirate. I don't think I need to say anything else. I'm really excited to read this book. This story follows Amina, an ex-pirate, or a retired pirate, I think, who is asked to track down a kidnapped or someone's kidnapped daughter. She has to come out of retirement to find this kidnapped daughter. So yeah, I'm excited. I mean, this cover is so cool, and I got it from Book of the Month. That was one of my Book of the Month's picks. So yeah, that is The Adventures of Amina Al-Sirafi by Shannon Chakraborty. The next book on my list. You see, that is so much. I don't know if I could finish all of these. Where is the next book? Oh, there it is. The next book is The Deep by Rivers Solomon. This too has been on my shelf back here for a very long time, and I have been waiting to read it for a very long time. This story follows mermaids who were descendants of pregnant African slave women thrown overboard by slave owners. And I'm really excited to delve into this one. And you know, it's pretty short too. It's not too long. It's not a novella. Is it a novella? Did I pick another novella and didn't know? I don't know. But anyways, it's short. So it shouldn't take me too long to finish. The next book on my list is The Spite House by Johnny Compton. This is a horror gothic story, which also gives me that Mexican gothic vibes, which I really, really liked when I read Mexican gothic, so I'm excited to read this one. So this story follows Eric Ross, who has a mysterious past, but he moves to Texas with his 2 daughters, and he comes across an ad. The most haunted and scariest house in Texas needs a caretaker. It's a perfect summer Halloween book. It's not part of my Summerween TBR, but it is part of my Summer TBR, and I'm excited to read it. This is The Spite House by Johnny Compton. So the next batch of books are on the honorable mentions list. These are the books that if I don't get to them, I won't be too sad. And also, if I'm looking for something to read, I can pick from these books. Right? I think that makes sense. So the first honorable mention is, and I'm not going to go into detail about what they are, I'm just going to like mention them, you know, honor them, and that's it. So the first honorable mention is Lady Tan's Circle of Women by Lisa C. The Marigold by Andrew F. Sullivan. Delilah Green Doesn't Care by Ashley Herring Blake. Bliss Montage Stories by Ling Ma. When Women Were Dragons by Kelly Barnhill. Dawn by Octavia E. Butler. Mame by Jessica George. The Lake House by Sarah Beth Durst. Afterland by Lauren Bukes. The London Seance Society by Sarah Penner. I got a lot of books. Hotline by Dimitri Nasrallah. Forever Interrupted by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Your Driver is Waiting by Priya Guns. A Certain Hunger by Chelsea G. Summers. And the last book on the honorable mentions is The Sleeping Car Porter by Suzette Mayer. And that is it. That is my summer TBR, my long list of books, the books that I must choose from if I don't have anything to read. I have a lot to pick from and a lot of good books to pick from. If there are any books in this list that you have read, let me know in the comments below. No spoilers. Let me know if you liked it. If there's any books that you think maybe I should add to it instead, let me know too. Comment below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.